Hello, folks. This is Joe from MIGeekScene. I'm at the Monroe Comic-Con here with Andre Batts of Urban Style Comics. Andre, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. Yourself?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Okay.
Well, Andre, could you please tell the audience what Urban Style Comics is all about?
Well, Urban Style Comics, I created it back in 1993. Me and a friend of mine by the name of Kevin Hallman and a few other individuals, we established a universe. We came up with the name Urban Style Comics with different characters. At that time, it was Dreadlocks, Emoja, Black Watch, and we had Jihad AD, and who else did we have? We had several characters, but it was created out of the sense of there were no representations of us out there, so we decided to create an Urban Style Comics universe.
Well, can you talk about Dreadlocks?
Well, Dreadlocks is a character that I created based off the studies and different books that I was reading at the time. I was reading books such as Rod and Ephraim Men, The Medu Netter, Volume 1 and 2, and Dr. Ben. I was reading a whole lot of different books, The Fall of America. You know, I don't know if I could say that online here, but it was a book title.
Oh, I don't censor my guests. So.
Oh, okay.
No. If it's nothing too extreme, you know. So.
It was a very political book or whatever, and it just led me to look around my environment a little bit more and see what was going on, because I was always a comic book head. And when I read the books, a lot of the stories that I was reading were based off different things that was going on in my neighborhood, but with different faces. So I created Dreadlocks to take the place of some of the faces that we were already seeing, and to also convey a message and create a form of what I call edutainment, which you educate an individual and you also entertain them at the same time.
Okay. And from what I understand, Dreadlocks had an animated movie?
Yes, I created an animated movie last year. It's called Dreadlocks, the Animated Movie. It's a 45-minute long movie, and it consists of one of my first antagonists that I've ever created, which is Sir Madness, and he's basically battling him, bringing these demons to order. What he does, he turns these humans from human to demons or whatever, then they go out and just grab up more humans and just cause all kind of destruction.
Well, why did you choose green as the main color of the outfit? Is there a particular significance behind that?
Well, green represents the color of Asar, number one. Well, some people know him as Osiris. And it also represents the land where we originally came from, the motherland, which is Africa. So with that being said, I felt that it was very significant to make that the main central color of his character, of his suit. You know, and that's why a lot of his energy and his power, it's all imbued from the god Asar. So I decided to make that as part of his whole aura.
All right. Well, now we have some questions about you lined up.
Oh, okay.
First exposure to comics, not as an artist, but just when you were a young child.
I may have been reading comics since I've been reading books. I may have been 5 years old reading comics. I just don't remember the name of the books, but I started getting into superhero type books maybe when I was 8 years old, 8, 9. Before then, it was just different cartoon type books my mother would buy. But when I got older, I was able to see different books that interest me. At this point, I'm developing my own personality, and that's when I got into the Marvel Universe and a few DC titles. Mm-hmm.
Okay. As an artist yourself and a writer, do you have any influential artists or writers that, well, I guess a generic question, helped influence you when you were growing up?
Well, obviously, I thought back then Stan Lee was the artist, but as a writer, I thought that he was real good at some of the stories that he wrote. Jack Kirby was an influence because, once again, growing up in the 70s, you know, I've seen a lot of his work early 70s, and then you look at other artists that came along that I like their work as well. And the superhero genre is just something that I would just gravitated to. You know, as a matter of fact, I didn't have a set artist that influenced my art or whatever, because I was drawing a little bit of everything. I would draw album covers, you know, because you had Rick James busting out, I drew that album cover. You know, he wasn't a superhero, but he did kind of have that superhero look on that cover. And you got the Funkadelics. You know, they had all kind of artwork that they were doing. I was drawing a lot of that as well. You know.
All right. What are your thoughts on such characters as again, Black Lightning, Cyborg, Black Panther, and Luke Cage?
Well, Black Lightning, I never really followed Black Lightning because that's a DC brand, and I was never really into DC comics like that.
Oh, okay. So
You
was
know,
Cyborg.
I would read, Batman stories or whatever, but as far as their black characters, I didn't know much about them. You know, I knew of them, but I never really followed DC. Cyborg, once again, I like the idea of Cyborg because I like that, that alien technology thing being infused into a human body. I love that concept. But now as far as Luke Cage, I still have the #1 hero for hire,
Okay.
in plastic.
Back then with the wrist bracelets and the headband,
I have all that.
the yellow shirt.
Yep, I have the first 30 books still in plastic, in good shape, mint condition. Now, Black Panther, out of that genre, that crew that you just named was one of my favorites of that, because Luke Cage was more, back then, more ghetto-fied, because the language that they used the language that we didn't use. They put it in the books, and I couldn't really relate to that for the most part because I didn't grow up talking like that, with this language that they had in the Luke Cage books. That they used this slang language, which was basically pimp language of the 70s, and I didn't grow up talking like that, but I read the book, but I got more into Black Panther, and I like Black Panther, but then certain things about the Black Panther story kind of threw me for a loop, too, and it's more or less, the origins of Black Panther and the country. And
Of Wakanda?
Of Wakanda. The mythology of Bast being where he received his powers and things like that. And, me being familiar with comedic knowledge or whatever, of the mysteries of Kemet, I know that Bast is not one of the more powerful gods of Egypt. So to me, they gave him, his powers from a weaker god. And that, to me, wasn't impressive. And that's after I gotten older and learned a lot more as it related to Egypt.
All right, I can hear you on that. But did you see Civil War?
Yeah,
Because he stole the show in that one.
Oh yeah, he did. They did a real good job in the way they portrayed Black Panther, and I was happy that they portrayed him the way that they did, because for a minute I thought they were going to make him like a sidekick in the movie, but they didn't, and I really appreciated it. And he did steal the show, and I was glad that we finally seen a black face representing a black character as opposed to a black face representing a white character. It was true to form.
I'm not gonna understand that. And he was definitely not there as like your token comedy character
No,
either.
not at all.
No, he was very serious, and I thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, he was tough. Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts? I mean, I know that you appreciate socially conscious hip hop, but
Right.
what about I would call it the socially conscious comic strip, the Boondocks back in the day from Aaron
yeah.
Magruder? What were your thoughts on that?
Oh, I loved that.
Before it became a show. I mean, I enjoyed the show
Yeah,
too.
I did too.
But still, Uncle Ruckus, still to this
Oh
day.
yeah, I enjoy that. I still have those graphic novels myself or whatever, because from the comic strips they made them into a graphic novel, and I still read that. I enjoy that. I think I'll enjoy the Boondocks forever.
Well, the thing is, like, when I was reading those from the library, I was saying to myself, like, how could he get away with a lot of the stuff that he did back in the day? And I'm sorry that he's no longer doing it, especially either the animation or the comic strip, because he was starting to get nervous breakdowns from trying to meet the deadlines on a
Right.
weekly basis. But I would still like to see the Boondocks come back as a comic strip
I would like to see it as well.
or as animation, because I thought the
Either or.
animation was a great parody.
It was on point.
You also are a fan of 100 Bullets.
Oh yeah, I like the 100 Bullets.
Have you finished that series?
Well, they got so many of them.
Well, it's a done.
The
the series
one-
is now done.
The one I finished chapter 1. with the different stories or whatever. I finished that, and I loved that because it was a realistic storyline, and I like the fact of the way, the guy could just come into someone's life and basically tell them, I can make your life better, but you just have to do this. I really enjoyed that storyline to the fullest.
Oh, because I was wondering, like, if you finished the series, because I was going to ask you, did you feel that it paid off? I
didn't finish the whole series,
right,
but it's one of my favorites.
I guess we'll save that for down the road.
Save that for later.
Please finish that. By chance, do you dive into manga or anime?
Well, I like certain anime movies or whatever. When I see them on television or if my nephew is watching them, I'll sit up and watch it with him and get a kick out of it, enjoyment out of it, I should say. But for the most part, the last animated movie, as far as manga is concerned, that I just really enjoyed myself is a movie called Wind Ninja Chronicles.
Okay.
Wind Ninja Scrolls.
I remember Ninja Scroll.
Yeah, that's it right there. But it was called Wind Ninja Scroll before it was called Ninja Scroll.
Okay.
They changed the name on us. And that was, to me, like the best movie ever.
Wait, Ninja Scroll, you mean with like Yagyu Jubei? Like he had to...
It was called Wind Ninja Scrolls.
All right, you throw me for a loop because I remember Ninja Scroll. I have that movie. I own that. So
look up Wind Ninja Scrolls when you get the chance.
All right, I will do so. Because I was gonna say, if you had to check out one anime series, I would say Cowboy Bebop, hands down.
Okay, I would do that. Yeah.
Or if you like hip hop influenced anime show, it would be Samurai Champloo.
Now I think I've seen Cowboy Bebop before, pieces of it.
I can't recommend that enough.
Okay.
It's just one of the, especially even with the dub, one of the coolest series of all time. I call it a gateway series. Some people are like, well, that's overrated.
Okay.
Shut up. But I think that's a great series. I would highly recommend it, Cowboy Bebop. Or like I said, if you wanted to check out an anime that's heavily influenced by hip-hop culture, Samurai Champloo, because that's set back in ancient Japan with samurais and whatnot.
Okay.
One's breakdancing while fighting, one's beatboxing and stuff. That's graffiti. I would highly recommend that.
Okay, what I really liked was Afro Samurai as far as that, because I got the whole series and I watched it and enjoyed it.
So, I would have to say that's a good series. Also, your thoughts on the upcoming Doctor Strange film?
I'm so looking forward to that.
Because from what I understand, that was one of your favorite characters when you were younger.
Actually, that was, he's one of the influences in my creation of Dreadlocks, actually. The whole concept of Doctor Strange. Not him as a person, but the concept was so deep to me growing up. That's, to me, when you're dealing with magic in a sense where no one really understands what's going on, you're basically taking, people into surreal worlds, things like that. I really enjoy that. Some people don't get with that, but me personally, I think, our creativity starts from somewhere. And a lot of us, we're not just creative just to be creative, just because we got it. But it's coming from a certain side of our minds that we don't know where it's coming from. And Doctor Strange basically taps into that, his whole concept. And that's why, I really enjoy the character.
I didn't really delve so much into Doctor Strange. I mean, the one character villain that was very memorable to me, Dormammu.
Oh, yeah.
That was always a cool looking character.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Are you going to be checking out the Luke Cage series on Netflix? It just came
I
out yesterday.
already started. I'm already halfway through it.
You're killing me. I haven't even watched that yet.
I'm halfway through it, and I won't say anything about it, but I will tell you right now, it's real. They're doing it justice.
All right, good, because I was about to ask that, but no, it's like you're killing me because I have not checked it out. One of my final few questions, you have a blog talk radio called Chronicles of the Revolutionary Nerd. What's that about?
Well, with the Chronicles of the Revolutionary Nerd, which is an offshoot of the Motor City Black Age of Comics, what it is I get different opinions of people when they come on this show. They talk about what they've done, how they've gotten started in the comic books or whatever. And sometimes we get into politics and twist that into the actual story that we're talking about. Because what it is The revolutionary nerd is somebody that's not the typical nerd. Because sometimes people think that nerds are just people that are real goofy, blah, 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 just off into no man's land somewhere.
That's far from the truth.
And it's far from the truth. So that's why I call it the Chronicles of the Revolutionary Nerd. To let them know that this is the actual nerdism right here, what we're doing right here.
How often does that show go on?
It's supposed to go on every 2 weeks.
Okay.
But I've been caught up taking care of a lot of different businesses, whatever. So after November the 12th, I'm going to get it back started on every 2 weeks again.
All right. If people wanted to find out more about you online, where could they go?
They can find me at urbanstylecomics.com. Once again, that's urbanstylecomics.com. Or they can catch me on Facebook at Andre Batts. Or they can catch me on Facebook at Urban Style Comics.
Okay. Final question to you, sir. What would you like to say to your fans throughout the years?
Throughout the years, just stay true to your craft and stay true to yourself. And you can go far in comics, animation, movies, whatever genre you choose to go into, you'll go far if you stay true to the game.
All right, well, Andre, thank you very much for the interview.
All right, thank you for having me.
No problem. Folks, this is Joe from MIGeekScene with Andre Batts, once again of Urban Style Comics at the Monroe Comic-Con. Take it easy.